talking franchises here, bud.
Hey, I can't even do it. I'm still like not fully. That was my attempt.
It is 7 in the morning.
It is 7. I don't think I could do it at 7.
Should we wait so you can do it?
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you in a couple hours.
All right, I'll see you later.
No. Hey, Cabañari Cinemalai. I could always do that. All right. So, Circle of Life, gang. Welcome to Dune 2. All right. I'm your host, the Muad'Dib Train, Daniel Ehrenberg. I think I said that. I don't know what to do with this franchise anymore. I'm over it. Let's bring in Logan. Logan, be a dare. What's up, buddy?
Logan Beatrides again this week. Guys, I'm not over it. I fucking love Dune.
Yeah, he's ready. He doesn't care. Why not? You want to bring in some actors and not give them anything to do, even though they're enormous actors that are future Oscar winners? I don't give a fuck. Let's fucking
You
go.
talking Florence?
All right. You want to do 2 hours and 45 minutes with no narrative tension or plot propulsion whatsoever? Let's fucking do it, bro. All right. You want to do some cool special effects with some guys riding a worm and then going, hey, hey, hey. That's fine. Let's fucking do it. 2:45. You want to hire Batista as like a huge monster and then like give him nothing to do for 2 entire 3-hour movies and then kill him off unceremoniously? Let's fucking do it. Dune 2. Logan, what's up?
I can't disagree about the Batista part, but I think we've entered. Listen, I disagree about your whole TV thing. I just refreshed the Patreon. I saw the latest comment saying Daniel couldn't be more right about the whole TV format. But the thing
thank you
is,
to whoever said that.
no, I disagree because this movie is incredibly directed. It looks unreal.
No. See, Logan, it looks unreal and is incredibly directed are connected, but not necessarily the same thing. It is poorly directed in that it is an adaptation of 45 minutes of a David Lynch movie that goes on for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And we thought part 2 going to be the second and final part. But no, we're getting a part 3, I believe, right?
We are. I
From the
knew
way it
there.
looks like, at least.
All right, listen. Let's talk about
like
it.
We're stretching this more than even you imagined, right?
Yeah.
And I love it. I actually love it even more now.
I hate it.
Yeah, I thought that you would.
I'm not gonna watch the next Dune movie.
Well, you're gonna have to.
No,
Or it's just gonna be me by myself.
That's fine.
All right. Listen, if anybody wants to do Dune Part 3 with me, let me know.
I'm 30. I'm gonna be 38 this year. All right. I don't have patience.
The problem.
I don't have the patience for this shit.
You're losing it when you're too young. You're only 38 and you're out on long movies. Movies is the only thing you like.
It's not long movies. I don't care about long. I just watched Past Lives. It was an hour and 45 minutes. I was like, I could have watched another hour of this.
An hour and 45. That's a very short movie.
Yeah.
But you complained about Killers of the Flower Moon. That's one movie also. It's just long.
3.5 hours.
Was that really 3.5 hours long?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Holy shit.
Am I not allowed to complain about a 3.5
hour
hour movie that sucks? No.
I didn't think that it sucked.
No,
you
it
liked
doesn't. I did like it.
Tim hated it. I remember.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. It's just that's not a movie. It shouldn't even be considered for an Oscar.
No, well. But I hope that when I'm not even 40, I'm still able to enjoy things. I feel like you're not able to enjoy things anymore.
I think that's so fucked up.
Really?
I really do. And I think that's a fucked up thing that young people say to old people and that I probably said to Henry when I was your age too. Okay?
Right.
Because just because I like Dune doesn't mean I don't have the ability to enjoy new shit.
But your thing is that it's got to be TV because that's just what you know. But we really couldn't accomplish. We talked about last week, like maybe we could accomplish this type of thing on TV, like we have Game of Thrones and stuff. But we couldn't. Let's be real.
I agree with that.
Movies can't even accomplish what Dune 2 does a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, TV can't really handle the scope of some of this shit. But then, like, when we do like one whole hour of people talking at each other in other languages on a desert planet. I'm like, maybe we could have done this on TV.
But my biggest thing about Dune,
You know, and it's like the whole movie. I'm like, I was thinking about that obviously, and I'm like, but you know what? This movie, like Dune Part 2, is going to be riddled with like war. It's going to be all these huge fucking battle sequences and shit. And I'm like, you can't do that on TV. And then I'm watching it. And even though it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, we did the entire war in about 7 minutes. And I'm like, we could have done this shit on TV.
I do understand what you're saying, but the thing is, it's not just the time we spend on it or anything. It's the I would not have felt the way I felt watching a TV episode. I know you hate like the experience part of like Avatar and everything like that, but this is like this. I felt more in this movie than I ever felt in watching an Avatar movie.
Well, yeah, duh.
I really felt in the world and in the battles with these guys, and I wouldn't have felt that otherwise. Not for the scope of and the length of the movie.
Feel fucking nothing watching these movies.
I know you do. I know
feel
you do.
dead behind the eyes, just dead inside, just nothing. And the couple times that the movie does make me feel something, it's because of the performances. Because for some reason, Denis Villeneuve felt he needed every great actor in the world under 30, even though he really only had 2 good roles for them.
The lady Jessica and Paul?
Johnny and Paul.
Oh,
Rebecca
okay.
Ferguson's not young. It's certainly not under 30.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I don't know. I think we just disagree about like you care more about plot and character, and I thought that
what the fuck is wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that, but the part of this movie is the direction and the actors.
Part of direction is plot and characters.
I'd say that's a lot of writing.
Yeah, guess who wrote this fucking movie? The director, asshole.
By himself?
No, with one other guy.
What's that guy's fault then? That guy added the line psychotic. Remember that line?
No.
When Florence Pugh was like, he's psychotic.
No, guess what I don't remember from Dune? A single line of dialogue over 5 hours.
Well, I thought that was the worst line, so I remember that one. You remember that? She's talking about Fade, and she's like, he's my psychotic cousin, or something like that.
Whatever.
Great stuff.
I don't have anything to talk about, so just talk about whatever you want, and I'll respond.
Well, Batista died.
Who cares?
You didn't care about that?
Who gives a fuck about any death in this movie?
I thought it was a little unceremonious, but they
could have killed off. They could have killed off Paul at any moment, and I wouldn't have given a fuck.
Jeez, what were you excited to see Anya Taylor-Joy?
No, and the reason because what are you supposed to do in that moment? Pop, hey, that's Anya Taylor-Joy. I was so busy trying to follow the movie.
At this point, I feel like I'm an expert, honestly. After watching the first one and the second one and talking about it all.
I knew that was a minor role. So the whole time she's on screen, I'm just like, what is Anya Taylor-Joy doing in this movie?
Well, I didn't know it was minor. She sort of shows up like 60%.
She has nothing to do. Nothing.
I'm saying when she showed up.
What the fuck are Anya Taylor-Joy and
we're setting
Florence
up for the
Pugh?
next movie.
What are Florence Pugh and Anya Taylor-Joy doing in this movie? How does this benefit their careers?
What are you talking about? How does this? They're in the #1 movie in the world.
Doing nothing, looking like dolts.
Florence Pugh did the same amount in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, what is she doing?
She's
one of the biggest stars in the world, and she's showing up for nothing.
Is it better to be this role in these movies or the lead in Where'd You Go, Darling? What's Up, Darling? What's the name of that
What's
movie?
Up, Darling?
What's the name of the movie called? With Harry Styles, Olivia Wilde. Hey, Darling.
Oh, that one, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. We can't even remember that one. At least we know she's in. We name the name of these movies.
You think you'll remember that Florence Pugh and Anya Taylor-Joy is in this movie next time you watch it? Like you're gonna put this on and be like, I can't wait for them to show up.
Are you crazy? Of course. And they're setting up for the next movie. It's like how Zendaya was barely in the first movie.
Can we talk about the fucking next movie? Because you can't shut the fuck up about the next movie. Yeah, I want you to talk about this movie, but you're only talking about the next movie.
So hype.
So fine, let's stop talking about this piece of shit movie and let's talk about the next piece of shit movie. All right? Because
I'd be so annoyed if I loved this movie and I was like,
I don't care. I don't care.
Podcast.
Logan, shut the fuck up. If you don't like Dune, stop listening. The third. All right. They announced a third movie. All right. Well before this. Okay. I knew a third movie was coming. Okay.
I did not.
All right. Well, there's many books beyond only. No one likes any of the other books. Only people like the first book, but there are many other books. So obviously they're going to keep making them because art doesn't matter and money is king.
Well, we only talked about the first movie as if there was only going to be a second movie, really, I feel like.
No, there was always, but that was just because we needed the first movie to make money. Once we saw that the movie made money, we're going to make them all.
Okay.
All right. There's a TV show too. After this first movie, they approved a TV show on Max called The Sisterhood that was like about the history
Bene Gesserit. I know about that.
But then apparently that's changed because the title has changed at some point to Dune Prophecy. And I don't know what that ties into. It could be anything. There's a million prophecies in Dune and they all come true.
Yeah, I hope so. I'd be upset if they didn't.
They announced a third movie called Dune Messiah. That's the name of the second book. Okay. No one likes the second book. No one. I've never heard anyone in my life say, you know what's great is that second Dune book. No. I knew lots of people in college that really liked Dune, and nobody read anything but the first book. All right. But we're gonna do that into a movie. But I'm thinking, well, it's a book no one likes. It takes place 12 years after the original movie. I mean, after the first book or whatever. So maybe we want the actors to age a little bit, right? And then you got Denis Villeneuve, who's like a real artist in my mind. Like he's gonna want to make a couple other movies. He made, his last three movies, Blade Runner, which is based on intellectual property, which he has said in interviews that he somewhat regrets making because he felt too beholden to Ridley Scott while making it. Then he's done Dune parts 1 and 2, a 2-part epic based on his favorite novel.
He's not beholden to anybody in this case. I see no problem.
He's beholden to Frank Herbert, the writer of the novel.
That motherfucker's dead, right?
It doesn't matter. He's obsessed with the novel. It's his favorite novel of all time. He had to shoot every fucking scene from it. He adapted it into a 6-hour thing.
Here's my thing. This guy, Denis Villeneuve, doesn't care about creating stories. He cares about directing. He loves to do that. Why does he say he regrets making Blade Runner 2049? Because he had no creative control over that. Here he does. He can make whatever he wants.
He had complete creative control over that. He felt that in his own mind he didn't have creative control because he loves the original so much. But what's different about this? He loves the book so much.
Here he grew. That was years ago, Blade Runner. He learned, the way I thought was wrong. I do have creative control, and now he's more mature man.
So now I'm not an artist. I'm a Dune maker. To me, he's a much less mature man. He's gone from making very interesting films to making books he liked as a kid.
This is better than Blade Runner 2049, and I really like Blade Runner 2049. Do you not think it is?
I said, of course it is, but you don't stop talking long enough.
I was talking, and then you talked, and then you're blaming me that I didn't hear you.
It's fine. Can I say my piece on the third movie?
We haven't even seen it. What piece is there? You're not going to watch it anyway, so say your piece.
So, to me, I knew a third movie was coming, but it's in the back of his mind. He's making Dune. So, I felt that he was going to do these first two movies it was going to be it was going to set up a third thing, but feel like a standalone story. And then he would go off, make a couple other movies, and then do Dune Messiah. That's sort of what I expected. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched Dune Part Two. Okay,
Yeah.
and even though it's a 2 hour and 45-minute adaptation of the second half of a novel, it still offered absolutely no closure whatsoever.
It's a bridge, baby.
But to bridge what? To bridge something that doesn't exist yet. I mean, so it's no, that's not good enough. If you want to watch the whole Dune story, if you watch the whole first movie, that's 2.5 hours, and then the whole second movie, that's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and those two stories are supposed to be an adaptation of a novel that has closure, even though it has a sequel, because I read it and it did. If you still can't give me closure after all of that, then I'm not watching your other bullshit.
Okay.
You can't just end this movie with a shot of Chani looking angry about what's going on. That's not a final shot of a movie.
Well, she's actually about to ride a sandworm, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, but you're not going to see it because they never actually show anything.
You might. This movie picked up right where the last one left off. We might pick up next movie right where this one leaves off.
Except that I know that the next book takes place 12 years later.
He's not gonna skip 12 years, Denis loves.
Of course he is.
What?
You know what he loves more than anything? Frank Herbert novels, apparently.
What do you mean he's gonna skip 12 years ahead? He didn't even want to skip 2 years ahead like
he's
the
gonna
last
skip,
movie.
But Frank Herbert never did that. David Lynch did that, Logan.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's bullshit. He's not gonna skip 12 years ahead in the future.
Yes, he is.
We haven't even gotten to the part in the Dune movie where they're using their telekinetic powers to shoot bullets and shit.
The next Dune movie.
We have to do that.
The next Dune movie, because he's obsessed with the books, starts 12 years later. He's been the emperor of the galaxy for 12 years. The war is 600,000 people are dead or something. It's like,
I don't think this is true.
it's 100% true.
I don't think that's where we're gonna pick up though.
It is.
We haven't even met his little sister. We haven't even begun to train on how to shoot.
The sister's already like 12 years old. By the way, how long did this fucking movie take place? Because the fact that she is pregnant at the beginning of the movie and still pregnant at the end of the movie is absolutely insane.
No, it's not. It's very short.
All of that happened, like his development as a Fremen happened in under 9 months.
I believe so.
All right.
I don't know the exact time, but I didn't think like a lot of time passed.
All right. Logan, I know you love these movies, but I don't hate these movies. Like I
think you're annoyed that I like them, so you hate them more.
I'm annoyed that you have no criticism towards them.
I just think of them. You're just like, oh, they're so long and they don't tell a complete story, and I don't care. It's like a TV show, but a long movie. And I know that sounds dumb because movies and TV is different. But
it's not like a TV show. That's the real problem. Is TV is one thing and film is one thing, and they're both glorious mediums of art with incredible histories and incredible futures, I think. And this isn't either one of those things.
But what's the MCU? Isn't that a long TV show?
Yeah, but that ain't art either.
Sure it is. Have you seen Black Panther?
If any MCU film comes out like genuinely great, all right, it is absolutely the pure genius and luck of a great filmmaker working within a horrible system that suppresses art at all costs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you about Marvel. You're right, but I don't know. I don't want to die on the hill of like Dune, like it's a TV versus a movie. I really like it. I love. We're in the new Lord of the Rings. That's what it feels like. It's in part 2 of part 3 or 4, and I loved Lord of the Rings, and I'm excited to be through it. I never was originally. I was a little baby.
My issue with Lord of the Rings was always that I didn't care about the characters, that it was more lore based. And then when we rewatched Lord of the Rings, I realized, like, if you can get yourself, like, I have a hurdle with fantasy, and I'm aware of that, okay? But once I get over that hurdle, I'm able to just be with the characters. And that's what I was able to do this go around with Lord of the Rings. Like I was able to enjoy it more because like if I ignore that we're in Middle Earth because I have no my brain just cannot be interested in that. Um as long as the characters are there, that's fine. And Lord of the Rings, to its eternal credit, and I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, has many iconic characters, really, that you want to spend time with.
Legolas.
No, but you know, Sam and Frodo's relationship is really nice, and uh, Aragorn is interesting, and Gandalf is interesting, and Deagle
Smeagol. Oh,
slash
I
yeah,
knew you
yeah.
were gonna say that. Yeah.
Listen, Smeagol is interesting as long as you ignore the fact that he has a brother named Deagle, okay?
But you named Deagle, so it's not like you like Deagle.
No, it's just that it's so stupid that anytime Gollum comes up, even though I like him, I have to think about that he has a brother with a
That's
rhyming name.
the best thing ever.
Yeah. Um,
You have a brother named Faniel, right?
yep. I had a best friend named Nathaniel, and
Oh, Daniel and Nathaniel, you're right.
yeah, we used to be in a band together, and people would love to tell us that we should change our name to just Daniel and Nathaniel, and we would be like, Jesus Christ.
You said
Anyway,
had a best friend, so if he's listening,
mm,
I hate to break it to you, but you're not his best friend anymore. You're
well,
Nathaniel's best
maybe
friend.
call me ever.
Oh my God, exposing him.
Sorry. Okay, where are we?
Hello. You Lord of the Rings. Has
Oh,
good
that.
characters in this, doesn't I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem with me is you're spending so much time in this universe. And I really did feel like after watching Lynch and after watching part one, I really wasn't thinking about the world that much watching this movie. I was sort of just accepting it. We're on fucking Arrakis or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And I appreciated that this film really got down to character development. Like I saw people on the internet saying the first hour, like people that really love Dune, saying the first hour of this one was a little slow, and I was like,
What?
"Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's because
I didn't think so. It's
it's
like a
because
20-minute action battle to start. That's awesome.
how did what?
It like picks up right where the last one left off. We're like out with Javier Bardem on the desert, and there's like people trying to like try to kill us, but we kill them.
Oh, that's fine, but it's also a lot of like Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet making
I
moon
know.
eyes at each other in the desert. All right, and
Nice. It's a good job.
and so it's like fucking it's cute and they are doing character development and I appreciate that. Okay, that said, I don't care about any of these characters. I like Chani, but it's because of Zendaya is a spectacular actress. She really is. Really great. And she deserves all the credit in the world for creating something here. There's a moment in this movie where Timothy Chalamet, who I still think is miscast. I'm sorry. I like Timothy Chalamet. I just don't.
Is he better in this one? He's bigger. You can tell.
No. I think his Paul Atreides is really insufferable, even as like a
Wow.
human being, to the point where like at the end when he's just
supposed
like
to be kind of.
I think you're supposed to be mixed on it. I think you're supposed to be rooting for him so that it really hurts at the end when he like
Yeah, you're supposed to give up when Zendaya gives up a little bit.
right. But I gave up well before
Okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I'm watching this whole movie like going like Zendaya, really, this white kid? Like,
There's
come
no
on.
other option for her either, really. There's like no other kid there.
There's 1,000 people living at the South Pole of
We don't
this
see any
planet.
like
Go-
boys her age. I
I'm
feel
sure
like.
there's down there.
She has
Go
a
down there.
girlfriend that
You
bites
know who
it.
would have been perfect for her is that fucking terrible fighter from the first movie. Maybe that's why she loves Chalamet so much.
Well, yeah, he killed her.
He beat that guy. Um. Anyway, there's a moment with where Chalamet is first going to ride the sandworm, like harness the sandworm. Okay, And it's this huge moment in the movie. The special effects are insane. The sandworms are so big. Chalamet is running around the back of a sandworm. The score is yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he rides the sandworm, and it's all the special effects and Hans Zimmer with like a 100-person orchestra. And I'm watching there just feeling dead inside. All right. And then they cut to one shot of Zendaya cheering him, like looking happy, like excited that he's riding the sandworm. And
Yeah.
that reaction shot did more than that orchestra and all those special effects and the sandworm and
Denis knew.
Chalamet. And I agree. Listen, you don't need to keep defending Denis Villeneuve on this. All right,
I know you love him. I know.
I think he's a great filmmaker, and I'm so excited for his future non-Dune endeavors. I love him. I just read an interview with him, which was so self-aware and interesting, and even though I don't love Dune, I love that he loves Dune. All right, and great. All right, and if this is the Dune that he imagined his whole life, I am so impressed with that. That is great. You really don't have to keep defending that guy.
Exactly. He's putting what's in his mind on the screen, and everyone is fucking eating it up. How cool is that?
I think it is cool, and I'm not trying to like yuck anyone's yum with this. Like, I hate Avatar. Like, when I talk about movies on this podcast, I hate like Avatar and like some of like the DC movies and shit, you know,
Cha-Cha
like,
Real Smooth.
sure.
Like
No, not like that. Not like that actually.
But
The movies that I mentioned, when I talk about those movies, I feel that I'd be a happier person if they didn't exist.
not Dune.
But not Dune. I'm glad Dune exists. There had never been an adaptation of this novel that satisfied fans of this novel. And there are so many fans of this novel. And I read the novel, and it's a worthwhile novel. And I am so happy that this exists for those people. All right. It just has no interest for me. I feel nothing watching it, and I don't want to see anymore.
I think part of it is maybe I didn't realize it until we were talking about it, but I think about it from Denis' perspective, and like after every scene, I'm just like, whoa! Imagine if I pulled something like that off. How fucking I've talked about how a lot of times watching movies, I think about like how proud I would be of that movie if I had made it, and this is just fucking unreal in my opinion. It's just like,
but it's complicated like that. He says there are things that he imagined in his head when he was a kid that when it came really down to like actually adapting something, he had to cut out. And
right.
so it's never going to be perfect to what he imagined.
So he didn't include everything. He left some things out.
And so like I'm not trying to think about that too much, but like I'm watching it based on my own enjoyment. Like, Denis Villeneuve is a millionaire. Like, I'm not going to get enjoyment out of a millionaire making himself happy with a vanity project. I'm going to get enjoyment out of a movie that's fun to watch and involves me and moves me and excites me. And these movies don't do that.
Okay, that's fair. I was gonna say I've seen other cases where millionaires do the same thing, make these projects that are just for them, and I don't get anything out of it. But here, I really did, and I thought he put it.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Villeneuve is doing this just for him. I think he feels a kinship with the people that love this story.
Yes.
And so he's trying to do it for all of them. And it seems to me that the vast majority of really big Dune fans love this.
Yeah,
I see some that don't, and there's always going to be that. I guess there's always going to be people that imagine something differently, and whatever comes out is not going to be what they thought. Maybe some people's conception of Lynch of Dune is closer to what Lynch did. You know, at the time the Lynch movie came out, Frank Herbert said he was happy with that movie.
Right. It wasn't
so like
The Shining.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. So I don't really know like how people feel. There's a legion of people that love this story. Not all of them are going to love it. But to me, it feels like now it's out there, and for the most part, people are satisfied. And I like that it's a huge hit. You know,
yes.
It's not for me, but it's a massive hit, and it's a hit for being something weird and sort of impenetrable, which is cool. And it's nice that that young actors are wanting to be a part of this.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I love too. Is he knows how important it is that he got the best people on board, and they also like bought into it and got on board too. And even like you probably think like they got the four of the top young people, and then if you had to pick five, you might say Anya Taylor-Joy, and then they fucking swooped her in for the next one. It's pretty cool. But
That said, I really only feel like one of them gives any kind of good performance in it.
oh, that's fucking crazy. I think three of them do. I think Florence is a little. I don't know about
I don't
Florence.
understand what Florence Pugh is doing in this movie. I really don't.
Listen, I heard her say, she said, Denis approached her, said, you're going to not be in it that much for this one. That's okay. And she said, all right, fine. She knows she's in the, I said, it's like Zendaya in the last movie. She knows
But
she's
is
in the
that what
next
you
one bigger.
want? That's what you want from your career?
Yes, Daniel. You're an actor. Denis Villeneuve says, hey, you want to come be in the second movie? You won't be in it that much. But in the third one, you'll be in it a lot more. Come shoot in New Zealand for 3 weeks, and then we'll get you back in a couple years.
If I'm Florence Pugh and I'm on the verge of winning an Oscar and I'm a huge star and I could write my own check, I'm not that excited by a French guy asking me if I want to be in Dune 3.
I'm very excited. I disagree. Come hang out with Timothy, Zendaya, Christopher Walken. That's fun. I don't know.
Christopher Walken won't be in the next movie.
He didn't die, did he?
No, but he will be.
In real life?
He looked like he was going to die any second.
That's the point of the character.
Yeah, fine, and it was cool. Like I was a little moved to see Christopher Walken in this like emperor role, but he's that guy does not look healthy.
She says early on, she's like, something crazy happened. My father said nothing. It's like because he doesn't like do too much. I think it's like in the character.
Logan,
I mean, I haven't seen that guy or
Christopher
Walken in a while.
If Christopher Walken is alive when they make the next Dune movie, I'll let you beat me up. You can
That's an amazing deal.
kick the shit out of me with steel-toed boots and brass knuckles. I will allow it.
If he's still alive in 3 years.
Yeah.
That sounds very fun. Apparently he's in Severance. You watch that show. He plays Bert.
I don't think they're gonna make. Yeah, I know, and I keep going. Like it's been like 3 years since the first season. Make the second season.
He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Have you seen, by the way, the mom from Euphoria can't get a job, and she's like Zendaya's mom. She's like all sad. I don't know. I saw that yesterday.
Sometimes actors can't get cast and shit. You know, it's just maybe you're not that good.
Oh wow, I thought she was very good. Remember, she's like, Zendaya, your father, he fucking left you, you motherfucker. I don't know.
It's like a couple of years ago. Remember that guy from the Cosby Show was working at Trader Joe's and everyone freaked out.
Yeah, that was sad. But Euphoria just ended a couple years ago. That's sad.
It's not over. They're gonna do more Euphoria.
Yeah, sad. Who even cares? Are you gonna watch it? I mean, I'll watch it, but who's gonna care in 2026 about Euphoria?
You know who's gonna care way more than Dune 3? Me.
Oh yeah, whatever. All right. So what happened?
Euphoria is so much better than Dune on every level.
We're arguing Euphoria versus Dune.
Yeah, I will.
Dune. I'll go Dune. We had so you did not like Austin Butler as Fade Rotha.
What did he bring?
What do you mean? What did he bring? He shaved.
It could have been a stunt man.
No, it couldn't have. He's putting on like a full scary performance, and he's like sexual, licking the blade and shit.
Were you scared?
No, but I was loving his performance. I was being like, hell yeah, you're bringing it.
I don't know. It's just it could have been anybody. You know, in my day, we had when I was younger, Logan. I don't know. This might be before your time, but we had this thing.
Oh, this is gonna be insulting. I know.
No. We had this thing. I can't remember the name of it. Ugh. Oh, I got it, Logan. Character actors.
Oh,
We
I
had
get
this thing
those
called
when we got movie
yeah,
stars.
yeah. We had this thing called character actors, and what we did was when there was a role in a movie that was supposed to be for an ugly guy, okay, we had these ugly guys who could really act, right? Like that's a talent that you could develop. Um, so we would get these ugly guys, right? And they would get in there, we'd give them a script, and they would like develop a character, and you'd be like, oh my God, wow, they really created a character. Wow, what it pays to be ugly and weird. But now, all right, we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to do that anymore, ever. Okay. Ugly people, get them out of here. Fuck, kill them. I believe in a genocide of ugly people. Okay, so what we're going to do is cast one of the most handsome people in the world. Fuck ugly people. Fuck them. I mean, really, ugly people should be raped and murdered. We get the most handsome man in the world, okay, and we shave his head and his eyebrows, okay,
That'd be a
and
good touch.
we paint him. We paint him to look really gross and weird, right? Or shiny and all right, and then we paint his teeth. We paint him black. That's spooky, right? It's gross. And
But
all right.
slime in his mouth.
all right, we'll be like drooling black. That's gross. All right, and then that'll be a good villain, right?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
You hate Fade Rotha. I like Fade. What about his Stellan Skarsgård impression? Nobody else could do that. You want Danny DeVito in this
Yeah,
role, but I don't think he could do
you
Stellan
take
as
the
good.
least interesting performance in the first movie, and then hire a huge movie star to do an impression of it.
What about when he was like, "May thy knife chip and shatter"? What about that part when he copied
knew-
Timothy Chalamet?
I knew you'd like it.
I did like. I actually
Yeah,
loved
you
it.
popped for that line.
It was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, but I guess not yours. We're excited to see Josh Brolin again.
One of my favorite parts of the whole movie was the second time I took a bathroom break.
You went 2 times.
Yeah,
I went one time.
I can't be bothered.
What time did you go? Because I'm trying to remember what time I went.
The great thing about Dune is it doesn't matter. You could go to the bathroom at any moment and it won't matter.
Oh, you know, and I went. It's when Timothy Chalamet was like, "I have to go drink from the water of whatever," and I was like, "Oh, so I can go for 2 minutes," and then he still hadn't even drank from it, so it was like perfect timing. I sat there for like an hour waiting on the perfect time to go. Honestly,
Not me. The second I felt a twinge of urine, great. I'm
that's
out.
actually how I knew. I was like, I don't want to leave, so I know I'm into it.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I saw You Hurt My Feelings in theaters. I held in a really long pee.
How long? That movie's like an hour and a half long. How long did you have to go to the bathroom before?
Well, I felt it, and I
That
held
movie
it there
hurt your
'cause
bladder.
yeah, that movie I didn't want to miss anything.
You should tweet Nicole and say, at Nicole, you hurt my bladder. That'd be a funny joke.
I respect her too much to believe that she'd be on X.
Oh, you don't think Nicole Holofcener's on X?
No, I think that Nicole Holofcener is 0% anti-Semitic, and I think you have to be like a little percent anti-Semitic to be on that app.
At Nicole Holofcener. There she is.
She's on there.
No, I don't see her. I don't know how you spell Holofcener though. But was there a plot twist in this movie?
No, there's no plot or twists or characters or anything.
I feel like they said that Baron Harkonnen in these films was Lady Jessica's father.
Yes, of course they said that.
That's a thing from the old one.
I don't know that it's in the
That
Lynch
felt
movie,
nude.
but
I was
it's
like, what?
definitely from the book.
Okay.
Yeah, he's her brother.
Father.
Yeah, right. Which makes Paul his
Grandson.
grandson, and him and Austin Butler cousins.
Yeah, I didn't know that in the first movie, but here it's pretty well established. So that's pretty cool.
I guess it doesn't really do anything.
No, I guess maybe in the next movie though.
Maybe in the next movie. That's how they get you with these fucking bullshit series. That you can, if something's completely unsatisfying in one movie or underdeveloped, maybe in the next movie. Hey.
Listen, but it's we're only saying that now. Like maybe in the last movie, I won't like that. I'll only be able to say maybe in the next movie this time. You know?
That's not true. You said it last time with the first movie
because this
we
movie
haven't
hadn't come
wrapped
out yet.
Oh, and you're gonna keep doing it because you know what? There's a fourth one. There's a fourth one because after Dune Messiah, there's a book called Children of Dune.
But I
by
can't say it
Frank Herbert,
retroactively.
and they'll
I mean,
make that into a movie. And then when something in Dune Messiah sucks, you'll be like, maybe it's in Children of Dune.
but I'm saying retroactively, when I go back and watch this movie, I'll have to make the decision: was this good or not? Did this mean anything in the long run?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that won't.
Listen, this is the story. This is a whole book. I'll allow that in the first movie. Maybe it's in the next movie. Yeah, that's all right. Well, we're finishing the novel in the next movie. All right. If it's not in the next movie, then you're fucking done.
Yeah. Okay. So
All
one more
right.
shot.
No,
Oh.
this was the shot.
Oh. Okay. Not for me. I'll give it. I gotta say, I love Dune 2, and I had the feeling if Dune 3 was playing in an hour, I'd be back. Not you.
You couldn't pay me.
I
I had work. I had work after this.
So they could have paid you. They said, "Hey, we'll pay you to skip work. We'll pay you double what you would have made today."
No, it was the one time in my life I felt okay going to work.
What if they paid you $1 million?
Fine, I'll watch you fucking shitty Dune movie for $1 million.
We
Great.
could watch Dune 3 twice for $1 million.
I would do it.
Dune 2 and then Dune 3 twice in one day.
I would do that, and I'd let Denis Villeneuve rape me in the butthole. I'm really poor.
It used to be a thing, like when you were a kid, like, would you suck a dick for $1 million? And
I always said yes to that. Even as a little kid, like I knew my friends would be like faggot, but like I would always say like, yeah, like I would suck a dick for $1 million. I still would. I would today. I would any day of my life.
oh yeah, you don't realize how much money that is. But now you're like, you would watch Dune 3 times and get raped by the director for $1 million.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I'll let Denis Villeneuve come on my face. I don't care.
The whole cast can run a train, run a big worm train on the D.
Yeah,
train.
and not even
What
like
is this podcast?
and not even like Austin Butler or Zendaya. I'm talking like Stellan Skarsgård, all right, and Jason Momoa.
He's handsome. People like him.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like he'd be rough. You know, I've seen those Dothraki fuck.
Right. Right. That's just a character though. What about Austin Butler in fade makeup? Fade Rotha
He
makeup.
could do it, whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want at the D train
Yeah.
for $1 million.
You can ruin my asshole for $1 million. I don't care. Oh fuck! I had so much to say.
I'm recording. You want to do it? I can put it in early.
Okay. Can you throw in just a little segment about the trailers that we saw?
Go ahead.
All right, what trailers did you get?
Well, let's set it up. We're cutting this in at the end of the episode. We realized we forgot to talk about our movie going experience. So somewhere earlier, we're listening to something that happened later, right here. Okay. I saw Mad Max.
I didn't.
Really? The
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy Mad Max. Furious.
Yeah, I didn't get that shit at all.
What else did you get? I'm having trouble.
Yeah,
I definitely
I'm
got
like,
that one.
I'm like looking through movies right now because I'm like a moron. And I didn't write down.
Were there
I
any
meant to write.
superhero? I didn't think about
No,
the trailer. But
No, here's what I got. Here's what I got. Okay, I got Kung Fu Panda 4 in Nuvi. All right, they interviewed Jack Black, and he sung. They made him improvise a song about Kung Fu Panda, and I felt bad for him in the moment because I could tell he didn't want to do it, but he went along with it.
yeah,
All right.
Okay.
All right, I got the new Guy Ritchie movie. I don't remember what it's called, but it looked pretty bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I got the new Ghostbusters,
Oh no. I didn't get any of
and
this.
it looked terrible, but I want to say one thing. It looked better than the last one.
Oh, it can't be worse, right? You hated that movie.
I know. It looks bad, but it looks like
How's
maybe a little more
podcast? Does he have a good
watchable.
spot in the trailer?
I didn't even notice him in the trailer.
What?
So that's
Doesn't have
that's
one line?
that's a positive thing. Yeah.
Positive.
We got I saw Godzilla Kong the New Empire.
Me too.
That looks terrible.
Yeah, I feel like there was something in the trailer. What was in the trailer? There were like dinosaurs or something in the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah,
we've seen
yeah.
that perfected. What
Right.
was it?
Well, all it is, I got the sense. I didn't see I did watch the last Godzilla Kong movie, all right, and I hated it. I vowed never to watch another one. But they were fighting in that movie, and in this one, it's a team up.
Right, but they were fighting. Oh, you know what it was? It's just more monkeys. There were a lot more monkeys, and
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
it just looked like Planet of the Apes.
no, it didn't look like because Planet of the Apes looks incredible, and this I was thinking we've already seen them at the top of their game with the apes. This looks dumb now.
All right, all right. I also got The First Omen.
I didn't get that either.
That was exciting. That shit looks good. Okay.
Yeah, who plays the little kid? Damien.
I don't think anybody, but like it looks interesting. I was
Okay.
excited about The First Omen. Like I didn't know it was Omen, and I was like, this looks like a good horror movie. And then it ended and it was like The First Omen, and I was like, wow.
How could it be that different that you didn't notice?
Because all it is like there's some devil shit in there, but it didn't look particularly omen-y to me. All right. I also got that new John Krasinski movie. Did you get this?
I saw the trailer for A New Quiet Place.
That's not what I'm talking about. Wow, how was that?
It looks cool. It's like day one of
Yeah,
Quiet Place, and
but I
it's
thought
with
we did that. I thought that was the beginning of Quiet Place too.
no, I think that's like day 7.
No, that's day one.
Really?
They're like attacking, and they're like, "What the fuck are those things?"
Well, this might be day 0 then. I think they're going a day F before.
Wow. Okay.
It's like Lupita Nyong'o. She's like living a normal life a little bit, and then things go crazy.
Wow. Okay.
But isn't
Well,
that the other one? Like they're like at a picnic and things go crazy.
yeah. I guess that was just the opening sequence of the movie, and now they're doing that as the whole movie.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
But John Krasinski, he is writing and directing. This feels to me like his
Yes.
this is his carte blanche movie where the studio is like, John Krasinski, you have unlimited money, do whatever you want for this one. If it fails, you'll never get this chance again. But
Good
if
luck.
it's successful, great. It's called If, and that stands for Imaginary Friend.
Right.
And Krasinski wrote and directed it, but it's Ryan Reynolds starring in it.
Yep. It's like
And
Brigsby Bear. I've never seen that.
no, that's great. Brigsby Bear
Who says
is
this
very
isn't?
different. It does. Brigsby Bear is not like a talking bear.
Thought it was.
No. If
It's like
is-
Paddington.
it's like little childhood imaginary friends come to life, and I assume it's gonna like get dark at some point.
I hope so.
It seems like could potentially go in a horror direction, but I'm not really sure. Honestly, the trailer looked awful, but
I never saw it.
you know, it's hard to cut trailers of really unique movies, so I don't want to judge it yet. That's sort of
True.
where I'm at with that movie.
I bet if you watch like the Being John Malkovich trailer, you'd be like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is
I
this
bet
shit?
you it's lame. Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. And lastly, I saw one trailer. Oh no, sorry, one other thing I have to throw in there. I saw the trailer for this new Kevin Costner thing.
Not
Have
me.
you heard about? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Never.
Okay, so you know how Yellowstone was a really big hit.
Right.
Well, Kevin Costner's back.
Yay. Directing?
All right. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was apparently enough of a big hit that a major studio let Kevin Costner come into the studio and pitch them a new movie that he'd be writing and directing. And not only that, but listen to this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The film is called Horizon, an American Saga. Okay. It's a Western about white people hanging out with Native Americans. Now, if you ask me, he's made this movie before.
Right. It's called Dances with
It was
Wolves.
called Dance with Wolves. We've all seen it. Won Best Picture. But he's making it again, and it's called Horizon: An American Saga, and it has a very curious little ending of the trailer because it says Part 1, Chapter 1, if you will,
wow.
Chapter 1. The release date is June 28th, 2024, and then Chapter 2.
That's soon.
Chapter 2 is August 16th, 2024.
Oh my goodness.
So there's going to be 2, probably 3-hour Kevin Costner Native American epics in theaters over the course of the summer. And if you figure, well, 2 3-hour epics, that's probably the whole story, right?
That's what I would think. Yeah,
Yeah, right. You'd assume
unless
that.
you're Denis Villeneuve.
But no, Kevin Costner intends to make 4 chapters of this.
4.
Yeah. He wants to make 4 movies. Horizon,
Slow down,
an
K-Dog.
American Saga. Now the studio has greenlit 2. He's made them. They're coming out this summer. But if these do some Yellowstone numbers, get ready for Horizon, an American Saga, chapters 3 and 4 in 2020, probably 6 or something. But the only trailer I popped for was Twisters.
Oh my God, Daniel. I saw that too, and that looks awesome.
That shit looks awesome.
Looks so cool.
Dude,
Fucking
I am so excited to cover Twister on this show.
me too. How cool does Glenn Powell look in
So
that
cool.
movie?
So cool.
Looks like he's having the
honestly.
time of his life. He looks awesome.
And that movie has a great cast.
Who else is in
Like
it?
I feel like everyone they
that's
showed
cool.
on screen, I'm like, oh, there's Anthony Ramos, there's Sasha Lane,
yeah.
there's fucking Kieran Shipka, like there's
right.
Maura Tierney. Like everyone that showed up on
Damn.
screen is fucking awesome. And Daisy Edgar Jones is good too. So like I'm like I am beside myself. And once they showed the old Twister font, okay, with like the S added to the end of it, I am just
Mhm.
like, this is what movies are.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes I am literally like, I can't remember why I like movies. And one of those times was getting ready to see Dune 2 in theaters.
yeah. But not watching Dune too.
And so then I'm sitting there watching the trailers with my cherry Coke, 0. And that trailer came up and I just, that's why I watch movies. I love movies.
So you can see the Twister
yeah
in theaters. So enjoy the rest of the podcast.
yeah.
I did something. I did a little recasting. Okay, this is if they made the movie between when they made Dune and Dune, which would have been 2002, 2003.
All right.
This is what I came up with. Paul Atreides. I did something fun here. I did Paul Atreides, Heath Ledger, and then I did the bad guy, Thade, Christian Bale. I mixed them up. Like one.
What year is this? Like how old?
2002. 2002.
Sure.
He's an adult. It's like after 10 Things. It's 3 years after that. He's like 25 years old.
I feel
He's
he's
like
too much of an adult.
Chalamet is an adult. You think he's a baby?
Chalamet doesn't look like an adult.
But Heath Ledger, now you're an old man. Now if you saw Heath Ledger, you'd be like, this guy's the Messiah, fucking Heath Ledger.
That's not true, man. Because I saw Knight's Tale, and that's pretty much how he was treated.
Exactly.
Like,
So
this
now
guy
you buy it,
rules.
so it'd be even better. Do you
Well,
not want to
yeah.
buy it, or do you want to buy it? That's the question, I guess.
I mean, it would be better, but like,
All right, we're not
I
doing
mean,
this. You
look,
already ate it.
no. In terms of the casting thing, it's better, but I don't think that between Lynch and Villeneuve, there could have been a director with like a great director with the creative control and
That's why I
like
didn't
the
pick a
special
director.
effects development and the like. It would have, even with like a perfect cast, if this movie was made in 2002, it would have been terrible.
What about singer?
Terrible.
Yeah, no, just kidding. I didn't pick a director, and I legitimately put this together in 15 minutes before we started today. I had the idea, so I didn't put that much time into it. Lady Jessica, the mob, Julianne Moore. She's like 40 years old. What about her?
Fine.
All right, Stilgar, who is Javier Bardem, Jeff Bridges. He'd be funny.
All right. So you're gonna really whiten the shit out of this. Let's see what's next.
Oh, I guess so. Is this not a white film? I had the thinking going through it. I was like, well, it's pretty white. I'll make
I
them all
thought it
white.
was. I think it's funny that the movie's so popular in this day and age because it's such a white savior narrative. Like the Fremen
true.
are coded as people of color. Like all the Fremen cast, it's Zendaya. Her best friend is also black. You got Javier Bardem in there. Like everyone's like judging Rebecca Ferguson for being like a white lady in this landscape. Like it's a very coded person of color land. Like there's Native American mysticism. I think it's so interesting that in 2024, an age where we are rejecting any and all white savior narratives, we're making a white savior narrative the #1 movie in the world.
I don't disagree with you. But what else is out right now to even compete with it?
I mean, it's a big hit, man.
Beekeeper?
It's a big hit.
It is a big hit. I saw
Yeah.
something this week that said it has the same gross opening weekend as Oppenheimer had.
It's already made. This movie had a $190 million budget, and it has already made 182.5.
Wow.
I mean, that's in its opening weekend. Like this is gonna be really big.
Yeah, at least like 700 million, probably $1 billion, honestly. What do I know? I don't know. So there's Stilgar, Jeff Bridges, Baron Harkonnen. I put Woody Harrelson. I mentioned him last week. Raven, Rabin, Batista. What about The Rock? Just put The Rock in there. It'd be great. 2002.
Yeah, Scorpion King Rock.
Exactly.
Terrible.
What are you talking about? Thade, I put Christian Bale. Gurney,
Who's Chani? We haven't said Chani yet.
I just put Natalie Portman.
Uh-huh. I bet you did.
I thought about it. I did try. What
Lucas did too.
And the old one is Sean Young. I mean,
I don't know. I'd have maybe made an effort to think about a black actor from that period of time. But
I went through it. I mean, I did try. What do you want? Nia Long?
Maybe.
All right, Nia Long is gonna be. Sanaa Lathan is Chani.
Sanaa Lathan actually is really good. I think she would have been really good.
All right, Sanaa Lathan is Chani.
How about Thandie Newton?
Okay,
that's good. Thandie Newton.
There we go. She's Chani.
And right around that time, like she had just done like Beloved with Jonathan Demme. She was like perfect. She would have been great, Chani.
Josh Brolin's role is gonna go to Ed Harris. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 6 and 1/2 a dozen of the other. That's good.
I think he's he's like Patrick Stewarty from the past, you know?
I think just cast Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you think that. That's weird. Leto, who was not Driver.
Jared Leto.
Driver. Jared Leto. Wait, not Jared. Wait, what was his name?
No, I'm saying that's who you cast.
No, he's too young. What was that guy? What was that actor's name? Oscar Isaac. In this one, Liam Neeson. He seems like a good dad role.
That was a time Liam Neeson had a lot more interest in acting than Oscar Isaac does these days.
So you don't think he would do it?
Yeah, I don't think you would. No.
Okay. Duncan, Idaho. This is the best casting so far. You remember Duncan, Idaho?
Of course.
Jason Momoa. What about this? Liev Schreiber. That's good.
That's terrible. I really don't get that one. I really don't get that one. Because Duncan, Idaho has to be like a young hot shot. Liev Schreiber always seems like he's dealing with some shit.
Not that young. He's like older than Timothy because he's always picking on him.
But I think he's got to look carefree and fun. I don't get that from Liev Schreiber ever.
Even when he was young?
Yeah.
100% Duncan? You don't think he could do that?
I really don't. Honestly, I think like you've done with the one, caveat of my diversity
all white
thing,
people.
I do think you've done a pretty good job with this. I
what about Gary Oldman? Is he too old?
That's crazy. That it's not that he's too old. It's just crazy casting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to be like Jim Carrey?
No.
Carry always.
Carefree. If it's the late 80s, sure, that's not bad.
2002. Who do you got? 2002. I'll keep going. Let me know who could be Duncan, Idaho.
Colin Farrell.
All right, there we go. Colin Farrell is Duncan, Idaho. Is Colin that funny back then?
Yeah, back then he was.
Back then he was in Minority Report.
Yeah, but he was also like drunk and fun and young and hot. I guess I'm thinking of like
he could. I just don't think that's the stuff he was doing then,
Maybe. Although, like, he did that fucking Western, like, American Outlaws. I think if he was offered Dune, he would have done it.
What about Oliphant?
He did Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't do it. He's one of my favorite.
Oliphant, by the way, great. I actually think Oliphant could play Leto.
Oh. What do you mean? He could play Dad? He's too young.
Yeah. Well, maybe back then he was, but I think he could have now.
Oh, he would have been actually really
I think he
cool.
probably would have been better than Oscar Isaac.
That's a good. What about Thoreau as a Leto today? He would have been cool too.
I think that would have been good too. Yeah, he could have done that.
They would have both been really cool.
Yeah.
The Emperor, I put Anthony Hopkins. This is like
Thoreau could have been Duncan, Idaho back then.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been awesome. Hopkins is the Emperor. This is 10 years after Silence.
Yeah, that's good.
Great, like fan casting or whatever.
Like
rule
Michael Caine.
You ruling whoever Florence Pugh is. Guess.
Oh, I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter. She doesn't have a significant role in the film.
That's why I went Gwyneth.
No, that's way too significant.
You think?
You could have gotten Charisma Carpenter. I'm telling you, it would not matter.
I just meant the look. I think she would have been good look.
Fine.
Gwyneth as
Yeah,
the princess,
yeah. I get
the
that.
blonde princess.
Yeah.
The Reverend Mother. I think she's a little too young. I think this is more like today casting. Frances McDormand. She's probably too young back then, but I think she's a good Reverend Mother. The
Yeah. Oh my
traitor.
God. I can totally see Frances McDormand doing all that, like speaking in tongues, like Fremen language shit.
And be like, "Oh, you better not betray me." You know, like
Yeah.
talking like a
Yeah.
scary voice.
Sure.
The traitor from the first movie. Remember him?
No.
He was Asian in the remake, but then
Oh
he
yeah.
was the tooth. That guy.
Right. The tooth.
There's actually 3 names here.
Are any of them Asian?
Nope.
Should
I go closest to Asian? Not
Yeah,
sure.
I would love to. I would love to hear what you think is closest to Asian.
Val Kilmer.
You mean a blonde guy?
It's either him, Jeff Goldblum, or William H. Macy.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
And then for the traitor, or not the traitor, the
Chow Yun Fat.
there we go. That's a great pick. I actually didn't put because he's white in the original. I didn't put that much thought into. I did the same with Zendaya. Like she's white in the original. I didn't think about
But they're
it that
not. But that was 1980.
much. It was
Surely,
2002.
surely, if in 2002 we're remaking that, like we're gonna. Although we didn't, because I remember they did that Sci-Fi Channel miniseries.
No,
I told you about this.
Jodorowsky's Dune.
No, come on. Yoda, that's like the film he tried to get moving in the 70s, and then they made a documentary about it in 2013. Okay. But they made an adaptation of Dune in
Why didn't we watch it?
Well, because it was on the Sci-Fi
Oh, with
channel.
William Hurt, I see.
Yeah, it was on the Sci-Fi channel in like 2000.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2000. And if you look at the cast of that, it is super fucking white. So you're right. Like we weren't thinking about that yet.
Yeah, even in 2000. So
Yeah,
it's
pretty.
fine.
It's honestly shameful.
And then Brad Dourif, I put since I didn't go Jeff Goldblum, I think he'd be good as Brad Dourif, or Steve Buscemi would be good as Brad Dourif.
Yeah, why not?
Either of those.
Get Brad Dourif.
Or just get Brad Dourif. Yeah, good
Yeah.
call. You just want them to redo the old one. Get Brad Dourif, get Patrick Stewart.
Oh, that's
get
my
Kyle
Dune.
MacLachlan.
For better or worse, when I see images of
worse.
Dune in my head, it'll always be the Lynch version.
Yeah. No, I don't want to say for worse. That's kind of cool. But I don't like it because you dislike these so much. Like it's not that you
It's not
love
that
that one, it's just that
it's-
you can tolerate
it's-
that one more.
It's not that even that I. They're not for me.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't like fantasy. I've talked about this so
I
many
know.
times on the show. I need context. Like I've for some reason it's the way my brain works. Like you guys will never understand how important a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away part of Star Wars is to me. You will never understand how.
No, I think we
important
get
that
it.
is.
I think that makes sense.
That is absolutely crucial to my enjoyment of Star Wars.
Yeah, because there are no rules. It's literally on a completely different plane of existence.
It gives me some context.
But you don't have to ask questions like, why is this? Why is that? Because it's just everything's different.
Yeah, but Dune's the same way. But it takes place in the year 10,000 something. So it's like in Star Wars, if I don't understand something, it's ancient. It's something that's passed us by, okay? If there's something in Dune I don't understand, it's because it takes place in 8,000 years. And I don't care about that as much.
I cannot disagree with you. I
too
can't be
far
like
away.
you're wrong. or
It's like
anything.
it's the same thing. I watch a movie that takes place in like the 1300s. I have a hard time paying attention to that or being interested in that. It's too long ago. It's too long ago. I have a hard time relating to it on any level or engaging with it. And the same thing with Dune, just in the other direction.
Yeah, it's like when we went and saw Darla dying in the past. It was like, whoa, this is a long time ago.
Hey,
Can't
at
even
least that
begin to
was
imagine how far back this is. And
yeah.
that was only like 1600s or
At
whatever.
least they gave us context there.
Yeah, okay. They never don't give us context. Like this could be any time ever, present or future or past.
No, it's definitely future. It's definitely in the year 10,000 something. Like, and so I started to think, like, I started, I found myself watching the movie going, like, how did we get here? Like, when did we leave Earth behind?
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm sorry that you were like, well, but by 5,000 we were probably still on Earth, but then by 6,000 we really had to get off.
Right. Like, when did the Harkonnens become an important family? Like,
Well,
what happened
never, because
there?
they're the
Like,
Harkonnens. That
uh,
still really bothers me.
I don't know. Fantasy on this level where it's just completely made up, like every little thing is made up. I don't have the ability to enjoy. I
Okay.
don't,
I
and I'm
can't say you're wrong.
sorry I don't, but that's a me thing. That's not a you thing. It's not a Villeneuve thing. It's not anybody's deal. It's my thing, okay? So like yeah, there's things about these movies that annoy me beyond that. Like I think it sucks that it's two movies of over 2.5 hours apiece. I think it sucks that you're wasting so many talented young actors for nothing. I think it sucks that we're casting hot people at the expense of character actors. I think the score is bad. I think there is oddly like too much fighting and not enough fighting at the same time. I like the pacing is weird. So I have issues with the movies beyond that. But that said, I don't think that there was any way that I could unreservedly love these films. There was just no matter what.
Yeah, the only actor I think is like, I mean, there's no need for Javier Bardem. Like anybody else could be probably funnier than him.
I
But
have no issue with Javier Bardem. I
no,
think
I was
he's
just going
really
through it. I was just going through it. Like him, I like. But there could obviously be somebody else. But I like what he's doing. Brolin, you could replace with anybody. I feel like, but I do like Brolin.
Oh yeah, I don't really understand what Brolin's doing in this movie.
I think they like each other from Sicario, and they were like, "Hey, come do my movie." I really don't get it. Yeah, but Pew, they're just setting up for the next movie. Batista was wasted. Leah Seydoux, I liked her in this movie. She was cool.
She was in this?
She seduces Fade. Well, remember that cool black and white sequence?
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, I really liked it.
The fade. I barely clocked that character at all. Like, I really think the only actor of the young actors that is being used really well and to the benefit of her career is Zendaya. Although I guess it benefits anybody to be in a big hit movie, whatever.
Of
Um,
course. To think it
so,
doesn't benefit Timothy Chalamet is fucking crazy.
no, of course it benefits his career, but I just think it doesn't um engage him to his highest level as an actor.
Mm, I don't even know if that's true.
No, I've seen Timothy Chalamet in movies where I've been much more impressed with him as an actor.
Sure, but he's having to do like movie star in this movie, and I like it.
But he doesn't really. He's just doing Mark Hamill, and it's not like
He's
Mark
Mark Hamill
Hamill.
never did this shit.
No, Mark Hamill's nothing in Star Wars. Like this doesn't even need to be a great performance or anything. It just needs to be. All I need to believe is all I need to do is believe that he can do any of this. And that's my problem with Chalamet's performance. He doesn't have a physicality whatsoever. And so I
I think
don't
he does in
believe
this one.
when he fights Fade at the end of the movie, I'm just like, you suck, Fade. You fucking suck.
No, I thought it was an awesome battle. I loved that there's no music in it. I thought whenever at the end, like when he commands the room and he tells that bitch to shut up, the Reverend Mother, well, Charlotte Rampling, right? He does this cool thing where he's like standing
I
in
like
front of
that
everybody.
he tells her to shut up so hard that she falls down.
Yeah, like she's like, oh, like flies her back.
Ah!
He does this cool thing where he's standing there and then he sort of like squats down in front of everybody. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's like exactly what you should do right there. That's cool. I think he's awesome. I
was
really don't
cool.
get this.
I just don't think Chalamet really has presence. Like when you're putting Chalamet in a scene with like Florence Pugh and Charlotte Rampling and Josh Brolin, I'm not looking at Timothy Chalamet. Sorry.
I think you're off on this. I am. I think other people will be too.
That's fine.
I think you don't have any respect for Timmy.
I do.
You don't take him
I think
seriously.
that's not true. That's not true. I like Timothy Chalamet as an actor. Like I think he's silly. Like I think any like 20-something dude who's like trying to get his dick wet is silly. Like it's funny to watch him in like the tabloids and stuff. But like but I do think he's a good actor, and I've thought that since the first time I saw him. Like he was super impressive in Call Me by Your Name. I do think in some ways he's lived up to that promise he showed there. Like I had problems with the movie Bones and all, but I still saw what I saw in Call Me by Your Name in that movie, and
I think he's actually the third best performance in that movie, though. I think she's better,
honest,
and that supporting Mark Rylance is better.
Mark Rylance. I kind of agree with that,
but he's cool in that too.
But all I'm saying is like he's an actor who clearly has a lot of promise, and I've seen him in a bunch of shit now, and in a lot of those things, he's lived up to that promise. Okay,
yes,
and look. In this movie, he's this clear star. He's asked to follow it. He has an interesting arc that is like a little bit a heel turn. I don't really, for me, the performance level wasn't quite there, and I don't think it's really his fault. I kind of think I just would have preferred a different actor in this particular role. But
I'm not sure what he could have done.
But
really.
no, I'm not saying I have any problem with Timothy Chalamet as an actor. Like,
I think I went in a little hard.
I kind of think he's gonna be nominated for like a bunch of Oscars. I don't know if he'll ever win, but he might.
What do you mean he'll never win? He'll for sure win.
He could. He's definitely gonna be in that conversation. Like
he was already nominated. He was like, I remember he's like one of the youngest people that's ever been nominated.
Yeah, I know.
Or I think the thing is he was number 1 for best lead actor was what it was. Like, because supporting, we've had like the kid from Room and Sixth Sense and stuff, but like lead actor, I think he was like number 1 youngest guy for a while. I don't know what it was, but I love him, and it's cool. He's like doing Wonka between his Dune stuff, which is the complete opposite of everything he's doing here.
And that was a hit. Like I had no interest in it. I'm not going to see it, but like it was a huge hit.
You'll see it at some point.
I don't think I will. And so like he's proven now as a box office draw.
Oh yeah, he's a star. He got advice from Leo once. Leo said, "No superhero movies and no hard drugs," is what he told him.
Really? And you must have also told him to act like a complete douchebag towards women. And
when did he do that? When has Timothy Chalamet ever done that?
Timothy Chalamet feels to me like the prime candidate to start the next Pussy Posse. Pussy Posse, the next generation.
Disagree. You want to know who I think it's going to be?
Who?
Paul Mescal. One time I read a story about him.
He's not big enough.
He will be, though. He slept with a girl, and then he ran off in the middle of the night. Like, ran off. Like, they were like, he took off running.
Listen, Paul Mescal can be the fucking Toby in the Pussy Posse, but Chalamet is the Leo.
You think so?
Yeah.
But imagine Timmy and Paul.
I thought the ending was,
side by side.
I pictured him doing this in real life. This is how I picture Timothy Chalamet breaking up with women. He gets the next woman he's gonna be with in the room, and then he gets like all of his friends to kneel down, and they do a ceremony, and he says goodbye to the previous woman and hello to the new woman, and then the old woman goes off and rides a sandworm, and then the movie ends on a cliffhanger for no reason, even though it's a 5-hour story.
The reason being, we got to make the third one to perfection.
Okay, but even if you're making a third movie, that doesn't prevent you from putting an end on your previous movie.
This did end. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
That is not... If I am watching 6 hours of Dune, I don't want the final shot to be Zendaya looking pissed off. Like, it's just... That is not closure.
It's like the same as The Empire Strikes Back. They look out the window. It's Zendaya.
Okay, but this should be Return of the Jedi.
In the second movie?
It doesn't matter. Second movie, third movie. It matters the initial
Hours? How many
story.
hours
The
there are?
no
Sixth hour?
the initial story.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let him do what he wants. Come on. I see no problem.
You
I don't
can't
know.
say let him do what he wants. I'm watching this thing. It has to be appealing to me too.
No, it doesn't. You just can say you don't like it. It doesn't have to be appealing to you. It's appealing to everybody else.
All right. I mean, listeners, I'd love to take a poll. I think even
Does
if you
this movie
love,
have to be appealing
if
to
you,
Daniel? Yes or
no,
no?
no, 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 no. If you loved this movie, was that last shot satisfying to you as someone who loved these two movies?
I say yes,
I think that's crazy.
and I loved the movies.
It felt like the last shot of when you're watching a TV show and then you watch the last episode and then you're like, oh shit, did this get canceled? And then you check and you're like, fuck.
But I knew it wasn't gonna get canceled, so I didn't feel that. I don't know. People in Letterboxd seem to love it too, so I think people are fine, including Slutty Siskel. She gave it 5 stars. She loves Dune. You guys just don't talk about Dune because it's
We
too
do.
volatile.
We just disagree.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Like, what are you trying to present to me? Like the fact that my girlfriend likes it and I don't, I'm wrong?
No, I just
Or
noticed
the
it on
fact that
here.
everybody on Letterboxd loves it, I'm wrong?
Yes, that's what I'm
All right.
saying.
I don't give a fuck.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You had the question. I wonder if people who like this movie find the ending annoying. So I just checked what people's thoughts were. That's all it was.
No, but you looked at star ratings. I would love
Should I
to actually
read?
ask. No, because they probably don't talk about it. They're very excited about the movie. They gave it a 5. I am specifically asking the listeners. We have an audience, right? So I can address them
How would they respond? Though is my question.
in any way. What? We never get comments on this show?
You do. You say you get like texts and stuff. Well, I don't really. So I was checking Letterboxd to see
We
what
get
they're.
on the fucking Patreon. Comment on the. I don't give a shit. Just
Okay.
let me know. Was that last shot satisfying to you, even if you loved the movie?
Yeah, let us know.
I don't see how it could be.
I think it is. I think people are excited for the next movie. It got the job done.
But is that all we're doing anymore? That's all we're doing is setting up the next movie. Why can't we just watch a movie?
I don't know. Listen, here's my question though. Because he leaves, he's like, Zendaya, I'm not with you, I'm with Florence Pugh. How genuine you think that is?
Completely.
Completely. It's not just to get the throne and then he's gonna pull some shenanigans and stuff.
Well, Logan, the next movie takes place 12 years later. So
Ugh.
I think he's going to at least spend 12 years with Florence Pugh.
Yeah, you're right. I'm viewing this like I'm watching it for the first time, like it's Buffy or something. I'm excited to talk about what's gonna happen next, but then they're just gonna skip 12 years.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, in the next Buffy episode, she's married and has a family. It's like, oh.
Right. Okay. So keeping that in mind, is that last shot of Zendaya satisfying?
See, I'm not just going to take your word that at the start of the next movie they're ahead 12 years. I don't think that's going to happen. It makes no sense.
I don't know what else to say. There's a novel that exists that Denis Villeneuve seems completely beholden to.
I'll have to see it.
It starts 12 years later.
I just can't wrap my head around. We spent 2 movies with this. We leave it how we leave it, and then we're just going to skip ahead 12 years.
I agree. It's pretty stupid and unsatisfying, isn't it?
Which is why I don't think it's going to happen. Like, this guy's too smart for that, I think.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Because this guy is the level of smart you need to be to really love Dune this much. I don't know how smart that is.
To be fair, I don't love it that much. I think these movies are cool and really perfectly directed. But
he had to devote years of his life to translating this story into film, and he wanted to do it over the course of 2 films in like 6 hours and like cut out as little as possible and do the whole story. You think this guy is not gonna do the next book exactly as it is?
I don't know. Maybe not if there's stuff that's going to take time out. Maybe he wants to expand it even more than the books.
I don't. Whatever you want to believe, I don't care. I can't get through to you.
I feel the same to you. You hate it. I like it. What are you going to give it? Is that where we're at now? The end?
It's a 3. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go 5 stars. MVP. What do you got? You're gonna go Zendaya probably?
You think it's 5 stars?
I don't know, kind of. Which I go 4. I went 3 last time, and then afterward I on my letterbox I did give it a 4. And this is flat out way better than the first one.
Why
I
you
like the
don't
characters. I like Fade. I like when he killed Zendaya's little friend. I thought that was cool.
you don't think it's weird there's like no action in it?
There's a lot of action. There's a lot of like the Fremen fighting people coming up out of the sand, running
Yeah, no,
around.
I know that, but like they build the whole movie up to this like massive war, right? And so I thought like there's so little story to tell here that like I thought they were gonna spend a lot of stuff with the war. I thought Villeneuve
Yeah,
like had storyboarded some insane war, you know?
right.
But
Helm's Deep type thing, but
yeah, right. But we don't do that at all.
which I
We
thought was even cooler. Like I got
we
my
have
hopes
this like
down that we're gonna
we
have
have
this
this
war.
one overhead shot of like two armies running at each other. And then there's this one tracking shot across a battleground. And then the next thing is Chalamet one-on-one with Austin Butler. And that resolves everything. So like
Awesome.
I on listen, I sort of appreciate it because I'm not that big on action. Like I don't care about that stuff. So I actually did like this movie more than the first one because it had more character development.
Right.
Um, but I did think it was weird. I think it's strange to like picture a book in your head for your whole life that climaxes on an enormous war and then not really do the war.
But listen, here's the thing. Part one, remember Dune, the original Dune, the climax of that movie, he fights Fade. And that is the climax of this movie.
Um,
So it is the same climax as original Lynch Dune.
yeah, I know that. But I'm saying, like, in the lead up to that, I thought there was going to be like 45
I thought the
minutes
same thing.
of
I did
like
think
really cool war shit. And there's really none of that whatsoever. Like, the movie doesn't really get exciting that often.
no,
It's
I mean,
really slow.
but I was kind of like buzzing throughout the entire thing though.
I wasn't.
I
I'll tell
know.
you what. I have rarely had a greater gap in interest be- between the protagonist and the antagonist of a film. Okay? I Whenever we were on Arrakis with the Fremen, I am so bored. I I could not care less. I feel that I'm watching like a Native American history lesson, but about a fake where it's like if you watch like an hour, it's like if you watched like a really dry hour-long documentary about Native Americans, but it wasn't about Native Americans, it was about the sand people from Star Wars. Like that sounds so boring to me.
But you should connect with them because they're having the question: is Timothy Paul, is Paul Atreides, is he really this Messiah
But I
figure?
knew that
And
they
you
were
have the
all
same thought. Like, is
but
he really
I'm
worthy of playing this
But
character?
Chani's the only one who's with me. Chani's the only one questioning and querying this thing. I mean, her friend is at first, but
But they're not
that
questioning
that
like, is
but
he
that's
worthy?
just
They're
because that Zendaya has no one to talk to except for Paul, so they needed to have like one other character that she can have conversations with.
right.
Um,
I liked her thing. Her thing was like not that like is he or isn't he? It was more like is this whole prophecy religion bullshit? Like what these people are believing like
right,
it's like they're wasting their
and
time.
as someone who has no belief in religion whatsoever and feels 100% certain that God has never and would never and could never exist, I just I don't. That's not a question that I struggle with, and so I'm just sitting there going like, this is a movie where they're struggling with this idea of whether this man's the Messiah, and the answer is he's going to turn out to be the Messiah. That sucks. Then you're just doing the Bible.
I guess so. I don't really
So
think
so
about the
for
Bible that much.
me, I was vastly more interested in the Harkonnens. And if we may go back to that black and white sequence in the arena, that shit was fucking awesome.
Best part of the movie.
Best part of the highlight of the movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
I
Apparently,
loved it.
apparently that's how they see on that planet.
And that is so cool. That is so
Yeah.
cool. At first, I was like, I wish they had made just the white people characters their normal colors. But then I was like, no, I sort of like it. They just drained the color out of everything in that sequence. And it's just this like black and gray and white. And I just never seen anything like it in a movie. Like that to me is how I think you're supposed to feel watching fantasy movies, where you're just like, wow, like that's something new and exciting, and I feel like I'm experiencing it. Like that's something I never ever feel watching this or Lord of the Rings or whatever. And they got me, and like this sequence captured my imagination.
But I feel that way throughout with the oranges of the. I like, by the way, when they say it was called Dune. And you like that part?
Well, I told you that.
I know,
That
but
the-
I thought it was funnier in this movie when he had to say it. But I
I,
love
I
the
thought it was
sand.
I liked that Dune was like the Fremen word for the planet. That Arrakis was like the
Wasn't that what he said?
Americanized. If yeah, I liked that about it. That
Oh, right.
Arrakis was like an Americanized or whatever, emperorized version of
Right.
of what they called it, which was Dune.
Hmm.
So which makes like the title of the movie like a real like freedom rallying cry for the Fremen, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's actually cool. I didn't really put that much thought into it, but you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like through their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty,
Their
pretty
beautiful
cool
blue
stuff.
eyes.
Their beautiful blue eyes. Yeah. Uh, I got a little bit of questions like when does the blue appear and when does it not?
It's when you've been exposed to the spice enough.
But I noticed sometimes Zendaya would have the blue and sometimes she wouldn't.
I don't think that's true.
It's 100% true. I remember
then,
thinking it a
then it
lot.
might have been a mistake.
Because we would cut to like Timothy Chalamet and his would be like a little bit blue, and then we would go to Zendaya and hers she would have brown eyes, and I'd be like, why? I wonder what the deal is. Like, why sometimes?
I don't know about that. I
Well, I
honestly,
swear to God, it happened. I
okay, I
remember
believe
thinking
you.
a
I
lot in the
believe you,
movie.
but I don't see how that's not just a mistake.
Yeah, I was wondering because there's like the thing in Lord of the Rings where Frodo is given a sword that lights up blue whenever orcs come nearby, and I was like, well, I wonder like if their eyes light up blue only when they're near something. I don't know, but anyway. So
No, I'm pretty sure they just like develop that through exposure to the spice. So once it
yeah,
happens, it should be there all the time.
well, it's not. I caught him if it's the mistake, but I can't believe it's a mistake, right?
Maybe in post they were just like, this scene you cannot take it seriously with these eyes.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to know the reasoning if there is reasoning. But
Yeah.
so MVP, you're gonna go Zendaya.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go Denis, or I have to pick a actor?
I mean, you could do that. I'll judge you, but like,
All right, I'll go
you don't,
Timothy Chalamet.
you don't
You'll probably
care.
still judge me.
No, whatever. If
All right,
you
I'll go.
think if you think Timothy Chalamet is the most valuable part of this cast, like that's
Yeah.
fine. But I just don't see it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't. All right. LVP. I'm gonna go with Florence Pugh. I'm very
Yeah, I
sorry.
agree. I think she's the least valuable. And shout out to Anya Taylor Joy and shout out to Austin Butler. I think all of them bring zero value
Austin Butler.
except for box office.
Yeah. I don't see the Austin Butler thing. He's fully putting on like a scary, sadistic, psycho performance. And they say he's psychotic. That's the line they use. Florence Pugh says he's psychotic because I remember thinking that's a weird word.
Logan,
for
you just
Dune.
don't understand character actors. That was like a thing before your time. It was really
I
cool.
understand all about it.
It was awesome. Like having
I
character
remember
actors in the
'em.
world was really cool.
We got a few today. Dave Krumholtz.
Yeah, they're all 60 years old.
Okay. I guess so. Bryan Cranston. Is he a character actor? I don't know. What do we got? Anything
Is
else?
there one unattractive 20-year-old that we let in movies? I don't think so.
Now that is a good question. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think that we do.
We used
There
to.
has to be. Never mind. I don't want to be mean. All right, anything else?
No.
I have a question. You complained more last week about it, but I also complained this week. We can just walk on the ground, basically.
Oh, they completely. I mean, in this movie, they're telling you like there's parts of the planet there are sandworm territory, and then there's other parts you can work on, no problem. Like at one part, she's like, see, this isn't sandworm territory. She like puts
Bang,
down
bang,
like
bang.
and then nothing comes, and I'm like, then this isn't that dangerous.
True. I forgot about that part. But I was watching the movie and I was like, what? What? We're just walking around. What's going on right now?
Oh
And
my God.
then
But there's also one awesome part of the movie where Timothy Chalamet is like, Javier Bardem, what do I need to watch out for in the desert? And Timothy
spiders.
and Javier Bardem's like, there's giant trapdoor spiders. Watch out for those guys. There's jinn that whisper in the desert and they can fucking like convince you of shit. I'm like, this sounds awesome. And then they just don't show any of it. It's like in the Matrix Reloaded.
True.
When they're like in the Matrix, there's like vampires and werewolves and shit, and then you don't see any of them. It's the same thing in this. Like they set up all this cool shit they don't do.
Yeah, I remember in the moment thinking this, like when the movie ended, I was like, "What? No, we didn't see any trapdoor spiders."
You cannot mention a fucking djinn in a movie and then not show me a fucking djinn.
This was Andy Herron's review. We like to talk about it. He gave it 4.5 stars. He says, spectacular, but I have a complaint. Why mention trapdoor spiders, centipedes, and djinn if you aren't going to show them?
Yeah.
It's going to be 15 seconds in a 3-hour-long movie.
He goes, there's one line about centipedes in the movie where Hardem, that's my new word for Javier Bardem. He goes, watch out for centipedes. Don't worry about the big ones. It's the little ones that are dangerous. And when he says the little ones, he holds his hands out as though to show you how big they are. And it was enormous.
Yeah,
and
it's like they're like
oh my
3
God.
feet long.
So there are these enormous fucking centipedes that are super dangerous. And then there's these enormouser centipedes that are okay. I'm like, this, like Arrakis sounds cool as shit, but they don't show us any of that.
But guess what, Daniel? It'll be in the third one.
I fucking hate this.
I guarantee it'll be in the third one. That'll be exciting. And
No,
then
they
we watch
won't.
Dune 100. Are you kidding me?
We're not gonna see a djinn.
You're crazy.
They'll never show us a djinn.
You're crazy. They're gonna get complaints like you guys didn't even show that, and then he's gonna for sure put it in the next.
So
movie.
they'll put a trapdoor spider. He'll pay lip service to one of them. But
I would say djinn would be 3 out of 3. I would say I would say the centipede first because they mentioned like the size of it, so we have to kind of.
But I think trapdoor spider is such an easy because you could just have them walking on land, and then one like pops up from under them.
Which is why I think we'll get both of them. I think because I think they both make too much sense. But the djinn might be difficult because that's like a longer scene. We got to cast somebody, maybe give them some dialogue.
Well, we could have at least like heard the whispers. We could have at least like shown him in the desert at night and heard. Right. Like the others in Lost.
That's pretty good. Or you can just hear it in his head, like how like Harry Potter hears like Voldemort
parcel tongue. Yeah,
that's pretty good. They definitely could have done that.
Yeah,
but it'll be in the next one. So I can't. So you read from the Patreon.
Yeah.
Michael Babcock says it seems like Austin Butler is basically playing Alexander Skarsgård in the movie. Yeah,
he would have been good. He would have been good.
You think they should have just got him? Honestly, it would have been great because Timothy Chalamet against Skarsgård, but you'd think there's no way he could beat Alexander Skarsgård.
Well, I read that in the movie Austin Butler is specifically trying to do a Stellan Skarsgård impression.
I told you that last week, yeah.
Because he said that in the world of the Harkonnens, he feels that his character would have like idolized Baron Harkonnen his entire life.
They kiss each other, whatever. Remember?
They do. They really kind of like suck face for a second.
I heard that was improv.
Was it?
To kiss, apparently.
That's funny. But anyway, they could have gotten Alexander would probably have done a better impression of his father.
Yeah, honestly, it would have been perfect. He's just
and is a much more imposing figure.
But I think that would have been a problem for you. You would have been like, really, Timothy Chalamet beat Alexander Skarsgård?
Well, yeah, but then it's also a problem with me where the two sides of this war of for the fate of the universe, the greatest warriors that the two sides could come up with is Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler.
Well, we tried Batista, but he sucked. He kept like getting his spice stolen from him, so we
You know what
demoted
sucks?
him.
You know what sucks? Dune.
All right. So that's Dune. By the way, I expected Austin Butler to do like that little jump during the fight. Didn't do it, and we also didn't really get that sexy shot of him, which I thought we would. He is shirtless when we see him at the beginning, but it's not like the full like image from
No.
Sting.
Austin Butler is going to spend the entire rest of his career trying to convince you he's not sexy. He's one of those actors.
He wants us to think he's not sexy.
Yeah, he's going to spend his whole career. I'm not sexy. I'm an actor. I'm a real actor. Here, look.
No, I
look at me.
disagree with
I'm
that.
an actor. You'll never see Austin Butler in like a rom-com or anything.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, he will at some
He's
point.
gonna no.
He's
I
in
see him
Heat
like
2
a
next.
no. I see him like a Tom Hardy. Like he's gonna spend his whole.
He was in
fucking
This
career.
Means War.
Yeah. I know early in his career, but I feel like Austin Butler's already beyond that point.
Yeah, he already did his Sharpay stuff.
Yeah, sure, right. Like Carrie Diaries, that was his stab at that. Like when he couldn't choose his own roles. But I feel like he's gonna spend the rest of his life putting masks on, covering his face.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's wrong. I think, yeah. So that's Michael Babcock should have been Alexander Skarsgård. Jack Bulberry says 2024 films where the main character has the gift of foresight, takes on an unwanted role of leadership, and both their mothers introduce poisonous yet magical insect substances to their newborn fetuses. Madam Web and Dune 2.
I like that.
I had no idea. Have you seen Madam Web?
No, but part of me thinks I'm gonna like it more than Dune.
Oh my god, you're probably right. I don't think you'd give it a 3. You gave Dune a 3.
Yeah, that's true. I think Dune's probably much better technically made, but I think just in terms of like entertainment and enjoyment, I feel like Madam Web's more up my alley.
Well, it's gonna be like entertaining throughout because it's gonna be fucking crazy, but I don't know if it'll be good. Michael Graff says, I really tried to like Dune, but it's so long and boring.
Yeah.
Star Wars really is a ripoff. George Lucas did it better. Sorry, Dune fans.
Mikey Graff. God bless him. I love Mikey Graff. Also, Mikey Graff having a really good episode right now because he definitely popped for that Darby Allin conversation earlier.
That wasn't on the podcast.
That wasn't on the podcast? Oh, Mikey, we had a great conversation. Right before the podcast, Logan goes, have you heard of a person named Darby Allin?
I saw his crazy trick he did last night.
Trick. It's a move. Logan, I had to pay $50 for it, but he saw like a clip of it on TikTok or whatever. Darby and Sting. It was Sting's final match ever in wrestling 2 nights ago, gang. And I cried.
Really, you cried?
Yeah, I was moved by it.
Does he have a classic theme song?
He's got a few. He came out for his final match to "Seek and Destroy" by Metallica. I guess he loves that song. He just wanted to do it. Sting and Darby were tagging against the Young Bucks for their final match. Great stuff. Anyway, let's thanks to Mikey Graff for listening. I want to
Did he do the stinger?
What?
Did he do a stinger?
A stinger splash, you mean?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was called.
Of course he did. Yeah. Even he brought out his sons. He has 2 sons who aren't wrestlers, and they came out dressed as like earlier iterations of Sting from his career. One of them was like Surfer Sting, and one of them was like NWO Sting, and they both did stinger splashes too. It was cool.
Did he get DQ'd?
It's his final match. We're not going to DQ him.
What? We just let it go?
Yeah. We're going to let whatever happens happen.
It's like how we let Kobe shoot 80 times in his final game.
Yeah.
Like, Kobe, go out there.
Exactly.
Go shoot a whole bunch. That was crazy night when Kobe. Man, I remember it was
it was a crazier night when he violently raped that woman.
That was crazier.
Yeah.
But I remember that night because there were 2 basketball games on. And it was like, do you want to watch Kobe's last game or do you want to watch the Golden State Warriors break the record and go 73-9 for the record winning season?
And what'd you choose?
I remember watching Kobe So I'm not
Mhm.
sure I watched The Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah. So Logan, when it comes to diversity, when it comes to women not being raped, these are things Logan doesn't really care about.
Uh, listen, it was his last game ever. I didn't really know much about the rape at the time.
Really? Because it had come out in the news and we were able to read the police report about all the tears in her vagina and,
Right,
all the
right,
horrible
right,
things he did to her.
right. Reading the newspaper wasn't really one of the things I did. Mostly watched
No, but
basketball
you had
games.
access to the internet. If you Google Kobe Bryant,
I never
hopefully
did
one.
that.
Okay.
I never Googled Kobe.
No.
I just lived through his basketball.
Right. Right.
And I'm
Well,
telling you how it was.
unfortunately, there's this other woman who had to live through something much worse than his basketball.
Yes, I did learn about it later on, and I took back all the moments I cheered for Kobe. I actually was never really a Kobe fan. But anyway, thanks, Mikey Graff. I'm not going to argue that Star Wars is not better than Dune, because it is, right? Justin Kyle says, as beautiful as these movies look, they feel very bland to me. We got all the fucking haters on the Patreon. He says, there's
My people, my people. These are the listeners of the
this is why you feel so
franchise,
comfortable like shitting
baby.
on stuff, because all the people that listen they agree with you all the
Because
time.
I
They
have
just like hate on
found my
everything.
audience. I've been doing this show since like 2015 or something. Like the people that listen to the show know what to expect from me, man. Like even if they're just
But
not
I
going
try
to
to
be
make a podcast
offended.
for other people.
But like I'm not gonna lie about the way I feel something to appease other
I'm not expecting
people.
you to lie, but you don't have to be such a hater. You have to be
What is
so negative.
it's criticism. It's not hating.
It can sound like hatred sometimes, even if it's not. He says there's nothing
Yeah, but so you could
emotionally,
say the same thing about Pauline Kael. You could say the same thing about Roger Ebert. It's film criticism. It is what it is.
but I don't think they would have been like, "This is a movie, not a TV show, so
Pauline
therefore
Kael
it can't."
absolutely would. I
What was the
mean, she
reason
was one of
she's
the
dead?
harshest critics ever.
Oh, right,
I
she's
mean,
dead.
I just it's not. I'm not gonna Logan. I've said this to you so many times. Like, if you want to make a broadly appealing podcast that it's gonna like everything and make everybody really comfortable to listen to and be like
That's not what I'm trying to do at all.
cozy and supportive and if you want to get interviews with people, so you have to be nice to say you like everything like that's fine. But I created this podcast.
Right,
That's a different podcast that you should maybe go do. But this is the podcast I asked you to be the co-host of.
right. You don't have to be so negative, though. I feel like say it
I
with a cheeky smile. I didn't like it, but you know who would? My nieces. That'd be a good way to put it.
They wouldn't. They'd find it fucking boring.
Good point.
I it's no. I'm not doing that.
All right. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not I'm not that's not who I am. Logan, get a different if you think I'm too negative, get a different co-host.
I don't think I have to get a different coach just if I thought you were too negative. That's fine. It's fine that you were negative. I'm just bringing it up. There's nothing emotionally gripping, and at no point do I find myself wondering what happens next. Just sitting there and waiting for the end. Weak
Yeah, me too.
characters, weak storytelling. Interesting to hear your thoughts. Both.
I agree. I agree. I don't think there are great characters in these movies. Like, Star Wars, one of the things about it is like for years people would talk about like who would you want to see a spin-off of? Like they should do like a Boba Fett solo movie or a Yoda movie or a Chewbacca movie or a Han movie. But let's do an origin story. Like for years, like you'd hear about that stuff. There is not a single fucking Dune character you'd ever want to watch a movie of.
Disagree.
I can see you wanting to watch the world of Dune, sure, but
give
there
me the Leia Seydoux
you
show.
wouldn't watch that. You wouldn't watch that. You would. I mean, you would because you're you, but you wouldn't like it. Like that wouldn't be appealing.
I gotta be honest, I think they nailed it with that Benny Gesserit show. That sounds kind of cool.
But that doesn't even sound like what they're doing anymore. Like they
Oh,
first
well, that's what I would
announced
watch.
They first announced that show as being called Dune: The Sisterhood.
Mhm.
And that sounded somewhat intriguing to me. And now they've retitled it to Dune Prophecy, which sounds really generic to me. It sounds just like the title of the sequel, the third one that they're gonna do, which is Dune Messiah.
Right.
It's the same thing, basically.
Yeah, not as much focused on the Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, so I don't really know. Like I can't imagine spinning this off. I'm looking like I told you, like the Dune poster is on my bedroom wall. My girlfriend loves Dune. I'm looking at this poster right now.
Wow,
I-
lucky you.
all the cast members are on it. None of these cast members could carry a movie. I mean,
Some of them are dead.
the funny thing is, all of these cast members could carry a movie. They have an entire cast of actors who could easily star in a movie, but none of the characters are strong enough to lead a movie.
I think by the next movie, we'll have our characters fully rounded out. We'll have Anya Taylor-Joy, Florence Pugh.
It takes 3 3-hour
I just said
movies
that
to
too.
round out all the characters.
I don't know. But I mean, you're right. Like, I guess like Stilgar like could if they tried, but I wouldn't be interested in
What?
that.
No,
You don't think so? Stilgar, the leader of
no,
the Fremen
no,
show. All right.
not at all.
Well, the other people are dead.
Yeah, but you can always do like the origin story of Bardem or something. Like you could, young Bardem. But like, it's not interesting. You can pitch me a million Dune movies, and I won't be interested in one of them.
That should have been a thing. I should have come in with a pitch of a Dune movie. You don't want the young emperor? That wouldn't be cool.
No,
Dominic Sessa as young Christopher Walken,
who's that?
the kid from the Holdovers.
Oh, that guy, right?
I'm gonna take control of the throne and be the
What's
new
that?
emperor. That's my Christopher Walken.
What's that? Oh my god, that's terrible.
I think it's if you listen again, it'd be pretty good.
Let's celebrate my rise to the emperorship with a glass of champagne.
That's terrible too. That sounds like Jamie Foxx or somebody.
It was bad, but it was better than yours.
Yours was Jamie Foxx. Mine was pretty good. Jamie Foxx. Thanks, guys. What a great podcast. I don't know.
I thought it was good.
I gotta say, I watched Dune 2, loved it. I was like, I'm so excited in a few days because I usually watch them the day before, but I didn't. I watched this one 2 days ago at this point, and I had like a day to sit on. I was like, I'm excited to talk about Dune 2, and maybe that's what it was. I just have to be here for the whole podcast, and so having to talk to somebody who feels so negatively.
But
when I
we
feel positively
talked
is
about
really
the
hard.
parts you love too. It's not like I'm trying to like shit on the thing you love. Like it's just I didn't like it and you love it. That's okay. We're co-hosting.
No, I'm not saying like I didn't get to say why I liked it or anything, but it's
No, I know, but just like
makes it
don't.
not as fun, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
It's not your
I-
fault. You didn't like it. I'm not saying you gotta like lie to. I was more excited coming in, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, I that's happened to me before. OC a couple weeks ago, but
But I loved it at least.
no, I know, but it was just
We did
not-
talk about it.
It
also.
wasn't the conversation I wanted to have about it. Season 2, that was a fucking delight.
Well,
But
get excited for season 3.
good.
All about
But
Johnny.
ugh, I don't want to talk about
He
Johnny.
just got hit by a car in the last episode I watched.
Oh god damn it! Yeah, running. Oh hey, Ryan, I want
Ryan, you
I
forgot
hate-
your girlfriend over here with me.
Yeah. Hey, your girl, I'm trying to fuck
Oh,
over
God,
here.
God.
Ow, my leg.
My
Um,
leg.
I hate him. I hate Johnny's the worst character in OC history.
I thought so.
Um,
I remember you saying there's like a really bad plot with Marissa. And when he showed up, I was like, oh, Daniel hates this fucking guy.
Yep.
If you hate Timothy Chalamet as Paul, you hate Johnny.
I got a text from the great listener, Movie Mike, yesterday. Is your least favorite OC storyline everything involving Johnny the surfer? I hated this character way more than Oliver.
Yeah.
And I
that's
responded,
pretty obvious.
yes, indeed. Okay, that's it. Are we doing 21 Jump Street next week?
Oh my God. I never once thought about what we're doing next week. Yeah, we can do that. And then we can figure out if we're going to do something else.
All right, so next week
let's rank these also.
All right, Lynch 2-1.
I'll go 2-1 Lynch.
Fine. I I think. Oh, so next week it's gonna be 21 Jump Street. We're gonna do the pilot of the TV show, like the
Mhm.
Depp show, and Richard Grieco. I don't want to leave him out.
No,
And then we're gonna do
he's like
both
Alex
of.
Winter a little bit.
He
You always
is.
forget about him.
You're right. Yeah, it's like the movie equivalent of like a Marty Jannetty.
It's exactly the Marty Jannetty.
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna do the pilot of the TV show on both of the Channing Tatum Jonah Hill movies for next week.
They're very funny. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. Got lots of funny Ice Cube.
Yeah, we're probably both gonna be praising those, so it'll be a little
Yes.
different. We'll have more fun.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening. If you like Dune, I'm sorry. If you don't like Dune, thank you. And
Well, maybe they liked it. Maybe I liked it enough for there so they could get
yeah, I
something
hope
out of
so.
it.
I hope Logan was
Daniel's for the haters. I'm for the lovers.
yeah,
Of
was
Dune.
strong, was a strong enough voice for the lovers. I think he was.
I should have used the voice on you.
Love Dune.
Oh, you better love Dune.
Yeah. uh, um, you know what else is weird? It's like you do so much character development in this movie. Like the first hour is all character development on Timothy Chalamet, and then like you just have him drink that water of life, and then he
Oh, that was
becomes like
cool.
he becomes like a completely different character. So it's like you do all this character development, and then you're like, okay, and now that character doesn't exist anymore. He's a different guy.
Well, I think he more like because he was questioning it himself early on, like, "Am I the Messiah?" And then he drinks from it and he realizes, like, "Oh, I guess I am." So then he kind of leans into it more. But I kind of want to talk about that part. I thought that was really cool. That whole segment where we get the worm and we like drain it of its life, and then we
Yeah,
drain it of the
I liked
blue shit.
catching the baby worms was a cool little sequence. Um,
Yeah.
but
There's a similar thing in Blade Runner 2049 actually, where he shows like the whole process of how to look into people's dreams. You remember that at all? It's like,
yeah, I do, and I really liked that sequence.
it's one of the best parts of that movie. It's
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
there's like a woman in a glass thing looking, try to figure out how to look in people's minds, and they do it to
Yeah.
Gosling. It reminded me of this sequence here. It was very, very cool.
Yeah, I remember liking that.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was weird to like have this be the character development Dune if you're gonna end it with like Chalamet ignoring all the character development,
Which is why I
just
think it might not all be
following
true.
a prophecy.
Why I think it might not all be
It might not
exactly
all
what
be
you
true,
think.
but he's at least going to spend the next 12 years with Florence Pugh.
Apparently, I still have so much trouble getting on board with that.
I know you do, but
That's just so
it
crazy.
just is what it is.
Maybe.
All right. Anyway, that was my last point. Let's wrap
Thanks.
up.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hope you liked it. We'll be back for 21 Jump Street. Buffy and I already watched wrestling.
I'll
I'm very
watch the
excited.
next fucking Dune for the podcast.
I didn't actually think you weren't gonna watch it.
I really don't want to, but I know I will.
You want to.
I don't. I just,
In a
it's
year's
not-
time, you'll be ready for more Dune.
Yeah, I'll feel that way, and then I'll see the running times 3 hours and 20 minutes
No
for
way.
like an adaptation of a novel no one even likes, and then I'm gonna
Can I
feel
make a
sick
prediction?
again.
Next one's gonna be the shortest of the three.
I disagree. I disagree because they're gonna do the whole book. It's not as beloved a book as the first one, so they're not gonna cut it.
Yeah, I forgot it's based on a whole other thing. Yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
probably right. All right, good call. What are we doing on Buffy?
Oh, patreon.com/the franchise. You can, well, actually, our Buffy show, you can listen to it, but you can listen to all the episodes of our Buffy show. This week, we're talking about Checkpoint. That's a Buffy episode. And the Angel episode is called Blood Money. All right. And then we also have the Sunday Night Wars coming back this week, where we'll talk about the 1990 Starcade show, featuring the reveal of the Black Scorpion and the 1991 Royal Rumble.
Yeah. You know what I want? Some new announcing teams.
Well, you're not going to get that this week on either of the shows. So
I know. I'm saying that because I've already watched them. I like
okay.
they were a little. It's just the same from last time, isn't it? I want some new.
Yeah, it's Roddy and Gorilla,
JR and Paul.
JR. And
They're good.
Paul, right?
They're good. But
They're great. I love JR and Paul's team. We'll talk about it. This
he's going into the
Thursday
Hall of
on,
Fame. You know that?
Heyman. Yeah, they just announced that. All right, so make sure you're listening to the Patreon, and we'll be back here next week for 21 Jump Street. Right? Anything else, Logan?
And 22 Jump Street.
Hey, hey!